let's talk about the conference a bit.
We are apparently live. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
So we're at the International UFO Congress here in Phoenix. I have no idea how many people are here. Does anyone know how many people are here?
800.
800 is the word. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So Tracy gave her lecture yesterday.
As did you.
And I gave my lecture yesterday. Mm-hmm. Do you want to tell the world what you were talking about? I think they could guess if they know anything about you.
Yeah, I think they could. I was talking
remote
about
viewing, anyone?
Yeah, right. I was talking about remote viewing and my take on why it's an important tool that we can use for ourselves if we do it properly and we track it over time in a disciplined way. We can use it as a tool not only to look at external goals, like whatever we choose. We can also use it to study the language of our subconscious minds.
And may I just say?
Yes.
Like, you take remote viewing to a little different level. Like, for me, when you first told me about your remote viewing stories, I thought, wow, that's super cool. You were able to remote view the Eiffel Tower, and you remote viewed this place and that place. And but you've got this whole other take on it. You're like, you see remote viewing as a way to understand the pattern and symbology of the mind.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever met anyone who talks like that. That's actually, I think that's unique.
Well, I just think it's something that I've always been interested in, you know, the language and the symbols of the subconscious and the different ways that we can examine that.
And part of it is because, and this is something that no one else points this out with remote viewing. You point this out. Remote viewers all see things differently.
We do. I don't think I'm unique in pointing that out. I really don't.
No, okay.
But everybody's minds are different. We perceive things in different ways, so we have different strengths and weaknesses.
Not everyone sees, right?
Right. Actually, it's not very common to see. That's kind of one of the misconceptions that's born, from using the term remote viewing, because we're not. It's rare that we're actually viewing with our sight. We're usually perceiving with all of our other methods of perception, and people seem to think it comes in really clear, like on a movie screen, and it's not really like that. It's more like gathering unclear perceptions and trying to bring them into clarity. So going through the process of practicing with verifiable targets and grading them yourself or having someone else grade them.
Right, you get a sense of how your mind actually goes through this, right?
You get a sense of what your mind is really good at perceiving, what it's really good at picking up, how it picks it up, and the areas that it seems to be blind to. It kind of has an issue with that. So, I try to talk about it in a holistic way, and just how I think we can best use it and why. I think, if we want to, I just want to say, if we want to, it depends what your goal is. If you have these external goals, wonderful. I think that is very useful for that as well. But if you want to evolve your own mind and have a deeper a look at self and who we are, I think it can be a tool that we can use for that as well. So,
what I was just thinking is, you do something else that's really quite unique with this. This is unique. You are able to describe the process of remote viewing in a way that I've never heard anyone else do. So and everyone here has listened to you now has commented on this. That you're able to bring people in through your process of how you do a remote view, what it feels like, what you sense. And that's quite interesting to me. And you do make this point that remote viewers perceive things differently, and they have different strengths, whether one is pattern recognition, one might be colors, one might be emotions, and all of this. So anyway, this is all in your lecture, and I thought it was, I've listened to it now 3 times, and it's great.
Thanks.
The people who've listened to it, I think they all really appreciate these qualities about it. So.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think other people describe it as well, and I didn't really realize that was anything unique. But Richard was pointing this out to me from hearing all sorts of remote viewers that you hadn't heard it in quite this way. So that's why I have decided to include that in the lecture.
Yeah, I'm glad. So that was good.
but yeah, the feedback has been very good. So
very, I don't know how
grateful.
long we're going to do this live stream. I'll do very quick here. Michael's saying 5 minutes. Good.
Do you want to talk about
yesterday?
It's true. Do you want to talk about your lecture, and then maybe
Sure.
we could just do a little bit of current events for us? What's going on for us?
Yes, I think it's a great idea. I did a thing yesterday on, this is something on which I'm not expert at all, I'll be the first to say, which is the science of this talk on metamaterials, which has become a very, very big thing in the UFO field in the last year particularly. I did a lot of focus on the very intriguing speech by Hal Puthoff from June of 2018, and also some follow-up comments by Dr. Jack Sarfati that he gave in an interview at the end of 2018. And this is not my wheelhouse. This is not what I'm expert at. But what I did do, I'll say, is I wrote down and recorded by hand every single important point those gentlemen made, and did everything that I could to understand what they were talking about. And when I did that, a lot of things did make sense to me, like how this material is so bizarre, how it might be able to do the things that people like Puthoff and Sarfati are implying that it can do. And it occurred to me that this is something that a lot of people would want to know about. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it.
Right.
So I thought, let's put something together and put that out there. So I gave that lecture yesterday. And
Very well received. Very well received.
People liked it, yeah. So I'm happy about it. I think more people with really good scientific credentials need to be jumping on this. And certainly Dr. Puthoff and Eric Davis is involved in this, need to publish a paper that's peer-reviewed even, that talks about their research here. But in the meantime, they're talking about their preliminary findings, and that's definitely interesting enough, for sure.
I think one wonderful thing is the way you did study it and you did pull it apart. You are one of the best people at this point to explain it to us in a way that we can understand. So
well, and actually, let me just say, if someone doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's like, what is this? So Hal Puthoff is discussing a year ago this artifact that arrived in the 1990s, said to be from the 1940s, said to be from a crash retrieval. Subjected it to a great amount of analysis, along with Eric Davis at EarthTech, his company, and at a microscopic level, and finding that this is constructed in ways that we don't know how to duplicate to this day. Very, very complex, and doing things that appear to have an anti-gravitic effect. So that's the interesting thing. So we're going to have to wrap this up. Should we mention one thing about what we are doing at our website?
Yes.
Real quick, if I may.
Sure.
So based on your research, Richard, on those metamaterials,
Yeah.
did you find that there was some validity to it, or did you find some wiggle room for it not being valid?
Yeah. So I don't know if they could hear you, but I'll repeat it. So the question is this valid? Is this a valid study, or is there something that we might make it to consider it invalid in one way or another? I actually asked this to Puthoff not long ago in an email, and he was very quick to say, look, we are not saying absolutely that this is from an ET craft. Even though in his speech, if you listen to him very carefully, I think that's what he is saying. But officially speaking, he's not saying that. And he is saying very clearly, we're not done. So there is more work that is required. He said right now it looks interesting. It looks very interesting. So I think that's a fair assessment. Look, these guys are trying to protect themselves. And they should. They need to be very careful about this. So I would say at this point, it looks more interesting than it looks boring, that's for sure. It looks like it really needs a lot of follow-up.
And what are the events happening tomorrow? What's your schedule tomorrow at the International UFO Congress?
Well, tomorrow I'm doing a panel.
That's right.
I'm doing one with George Knapp and other people. I'm not sure everyone that I know is going to be on this, but I think it's going to be discussing a lot of the current events in the UFO field.
I'm looking for a program.
So Tracy's looking around. You're not going to find it in time.
You have friends in Japan, in Iceland, and other in Germany watching tonight. So hello and thank you all.
This amazes me.
I know,
People from
me
around
too.
the world. You don't realize, like in our neighborhood, no one knows who we are. No one cares.
It's so true.
We have neighbors. They say hi. That's about it.
Yeah, and then here
So
we are
we
connecting
come here.
with people around the world. That is just amazing.
It's very gratifying. I want to say one thing. This is a shameless plug, but it's also a really cool thing. We have a website called richarddolanmembers.com. This website, we just rolled out an unbelievable forum. Now, this is something that, we started the site over a year ago, and it was all like posts and comments that mostly I would write, or our conversations, video, audio, and writing. And there's a lot there. There's a tremendous amount there. It's behind a paywall. Sorry, guys, if you're not a member, you got to pay to get in. Although there's a lot of free content too. But one thing that we have been wanting to do, and this is primarily for the members of our site, is to give them an opportunity to create their own content.
Yeah.
The fact is, there's an unbelievable number of brilliant people who belong to this site. It's amazing. And they've been chomping at the bit to be able to write and contribute. And so we just rolled out a forum 2 or 3 days ago, and it's been very, very popular. People have dove into it. I think it's an incredible place. It's available only to become a member of the site. I'm sorry, but here's the thing. Creating a forum like that, it's not cheap, it's not easy. It takes a lot of effort. So people have to understand, but I think everything is very reasonably priced. If people want to participate, it's not that difficult. And it's a safe community in the sense that we've got moderators who are on top of it.
That's right.
We are on top of it. And what is already happening is an incredibly supportive community.
Right. Yeah.
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So this is a new forum in the UFO community, and I think people ought to know about that.
I think, I think that's what we needed. We needed it to be part of the member site. It kind of is protected from, how do I say this?
Well, trolls.
It's protected
and,
from the
people
general
who just
public.
aren't going to play nice in the sandbox.
And it's not that we wish we could have it for everyone. And honestly, I just want to say this in case anyone gets the wrong idea. Richard is always dedicated to producing so much free content on YouTube. I mean, it's been a bit crazy because we've been traveling all summer. We were away for a lot of it and overseas. But he's always dedicated to the free content as well. So even though we're talking about this for members, please know that we always try and keep it very balanced because everybody is important. We care about everybody who's on YouTube, who shows up, and everywhere else. So we just want to thank everyone. But
and the newsletter comes to mind.
That's right. The newsletter, I just want to say we fell a little bit behind again with the travel in the summer. When we're traveling, we put it out when we can, but we will return to a 2-week schedule, and it's for free. You can sign up for it on the front of our website, and once we get back on track, it is going to give you a listing of everything that is free and everything that is for members. So then you can have a look and you can see if it's worth it to you to become a member.
Yeah.
And
but
guys, I've had 5 comments so far from members saying that the value is there.
Oh,
and
thanks, you
people
guys.
Appreciate that.
never apologize for making a living.
No, I was just going to say, and thanks. I mean, I can't
Thank
apologize
you,
for needing to make a
April.
living, got to pay the bills. That's just how it is. This is the world.
Yeah.
There are people who say, why do you have a membership site? You have to make people pay. I'm like, what are you, 12 years old? Like, that's not the world, okay? Like, it's not easy. And if you want to survive producing creative content, you've got to find a way to have it supported. And we're fortunate. We've got people who are interested in what we're doing. And I'm just excited that the forum exists now, that they are able, people have a creative outlet that they need to have expressed, and this is one more place we're going to do it. So I love that.
Can I just say a kudos to the people who helped us to create the forum?
They want to remain nameless, but man, we couldn't have done it without them.
That's
They were
right.
incredible.
Yep, so grateful, so grateful.
So that's it. We'll probably do some more YouTube content, I'm guessing, before we're out of here.
We're going to try to. We had a little issue with some of the internet connection earlier, but we seem to be going okay right now.
Good.
And maybe over the course of the weekend as well.
One more time, hopefully catch me doing my little mini rants here at the table. A couple of people thought I was drunk yesterday. Like, what? Look, that didn't happen till late at night, all right? So I was here working the table. I didn't have anything to drink until much, much later, people. No, what I was in a zone.
Yeah.
This is a crazy thing. Like, maybe other people do this, but when we're sitting at this table and crowds come, I go into I go into my place and I just talk, and the next thing I know, it's 2 hours later.
That's right.
So I'd like to do, if we can do that one more time, I think that would be kind of fun.
I think, and
I enjoyed it yesterday.
Didn't you find out some really interesting information yesterday? In case people missed it,
so
we'll get them to recap it right here.
Check out the thing yesterday, because there's a man I was standing next to who worked with the late Bill Cooper. Now, some people don't know who Bill Cooper was, but some of you do. The man was standing right here, talking to me. I didn't know this until toward the end of it. I realized this is a very knowledgeable person, and then he just drops this little bomb. Yeah, I worked with Bill Cooper during his radio programs. And I listened to one or two of those myself, but Cooper died in a shootout with federal marshals in 2001 here in Arizona. Right, thank you. In November of 01, a couple of months after 9/11, and he was, I think, Behold a Pale Horse may still be the #1 selling UFO book on Amazon. It's so anyway, this gentleman was right here, and if you go to yesterday's hour-long live stream, we talk a little bit about Cooper.
I think that might have been near the end of the live stream.
Yes, it was.
Second half, if you want to see it.
Last 15 minutes or so.
Maybe even the last quarter, right.
That was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
That came right out of the blue. I had no expectation of that.
Is there anything else?
All right.
Are we wrapping? How many?
Michael's giving us the signal.
It's the wrap-up time.
All right.
That's where we
That's
are?
what that means. I think we should probably,
all right.
let's cut our losses here.
We'll save it for another time. Because there have been a lot of
quit
other...
while we're ahead.
Yeah, a lot of other interesting things going on, but we'll save it.
All right. We'll catch you guys in a little bit.
Great to see you all.